We can go back to Parliament where Elton Brobe is standing by. Elton, if you can hear me, tell us what the reactions have been so far.
All right, so gift we are some few minutes away from 4, and at 4 o'clock the rule is that members of the appointments committee will take their seat, and then the second half of this vetting of the special prosecutor's nominee will commence. But let me engage, let me speak to some members on the appointments committee. This Saturday, they had the opportunity to ask Mr. Martin Amidu questions during the first hour. Honorable Dr. Halu is a member of the appointments committee. Honorable, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
And I also have Michael Yao Dzato, is a member of parliament for Krachi East, also a member of the appointments committee. Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
And thanks to your listeners.
All right. So let me start with you, Doctor. You had the opportunity to ask him questions. Satisfied with the response you got?
Not really, but I would say not really, because when I asked about his membership of the NDC, whether he's still a member or not, he could not give a definite answer. He wanted to hide behind, some of the issues and did not categorically tell us. But that is an important question, because you don't want somebody with political coloration, to be in the realm of affairs and also be a conduit for a possible victimization of people, because that is not a fear, but that is the issues that are boggling the mind of people. That if he's being a member of NDC and he's no longer a member of NDC, then is he going to victimize the NDC members? But he said it along the way that he is for everybody. In fact, you use a proverb about a crocodile. Right. And that explains it, and I think he will live up to his expectation.
Let's stay a while longer on the issue of the NDC. Indeed, questions about some, articles he authored prior to coming to face the appointment committee, and even before the 2016 elections, which, according to some members of the NDC, was partly to blame for the defeat the party suffered in the hands of the MPP in the 2016 elections. Some of these questions were put to him. The response that he gave, did it satisfy you?
I would say that no, and I can understand him, because he cannot sit here and say certain things. So he tried to dodge them and covered up some of the expectations of the people. He did not really respond positively to some of those issues, but he gave some hazy answers, which we would think would be taken for now, because he's supposed to also be apolitical. So we hope that he will just do what he has told us and not to go back.
There was one that referred to his description of former President former President Mahama as a looter. When that question was put to him, he said that it was based on perception he had prior to, putting together that particular article.
Yeah.
Was that a response satisfactory?
Yeah, it wasn't at all. I mean, for him to kind of be, not straightforward in answering questions, I mean, that approach is not very good. And that also gave me an indication that after all that he has said, he, just as a human being, can be pushed. He can be pushed to do certain things, and that is what we are avoiding. If he just gave a publication which is not true, just because he wants to damage somebody, so it is likely that when he gets the appointment, he can also do things like that. But that will not be in the best interest of the country.
All right. I'll come back to you. Let me speak to your colleague, Mr. Dzato, who is a member of parliament for Krachi East and a member of the appointment committee. You also had the opportunity to ask him some few questions. But overall, regarding the response he provided, would you say that he is more than qualified for the position he's been nominated for?
I think he's more than qualified, looking at the way his responses. The man already is on the job before the appointments. So for me, it's like he's going to continue with what he's doing. I asked about the class of people he wants to recruit, and he's saying that he can't do it alone. He's waiting for the other people to be appointed so that at least he can work with them. That is a mark of a leader. So I see he's just on top of the job, and it's like all the articles he's written. One may say that he will sleep overnight, you come the following day, and the whole media is full of his articles. So I was thinking that he doesn't even remember some of the articles. But you realize that the moment the question is posed, the man appears to be on top of the job. He knows what he has written and at what condition he has written. He is be able to convince us that that time he was a citizen vigilante. Now he's a public officer, and he knows his role as a public officer now. So I think that the man is on top of his job.
Now, seated back there, I had this feeling. I don't know whether you will share in that for some of you, and you are one of them because you had the opportunity to ask him the question, I felt some kind of intimidatory posture that he came with. Did you feel intimidated by the response? Was that an impact in the way you put your questions?
No. We were not intimidated. That is our job. For instance, the question being posed by Honorable Dzato, it was something that was in the book. I was right close to Honorable Dzato. Right. It was in the book. But the man answered the question satisfactorily. If the man says that he's not a competent person who has been chosen because that is his junior, the man says he's not a junior to him. And when we are appointed by the president as a minister, the president again appoints his deputy ministers. So it is not for you to say that you are a junior. You are of the same class, just that somebody must be a minister, somebody must be a deputy minister. There are definitions for the role of the deputy minister and also definitions for the role of the minister. So it's not your subordinate. You are all working for the government of the day. Right. So I think that we are not intimidated at all, just that we want to seek clarification. Those perceptions that we used to have before this sitting were all cleared. Those perceptions have been eroded, and we think that the man is the man for the job. Ghana, we need somebody to actually change things, and already we are seeing that. For me and my colleagues sitting close to me, we are all convinced that the man is on top of the job and he can do it.
And I heard your final question about whom he will recommend, or if there are people cast in his mood for the position of special prosecutor. Question for me is, was that really necessary?
No, it was necessary, but just that the chairman thought that we could forgo that question. I am asking the question because when the bill was passed into an act, everybody was thinking, every Ghanaian was thinking, who may be the first special prosecutor? So we're all thinking, much as we all have our individual concept as to who is going to be the first special prosecutor, I wanted him to tell us who he thinks has the same capacity as him. Okay. Because in Ghana, we need to get people who are very credible. Right. So I know he's credible, but I also want to know who is equally credible like him.
All right. The chairman of the committee, First Deputy Speaker, Joe Owusu, just walked in, meaning that very soon the public hearing will be called to order, and then Mr. Martin Amidu will be ushered in for the second time to go to this grilling session. But let me find out again from Dr. Halu. Doctor, based on what you've heard so far, if you are asked whether you will approve or disapprove of his nomination, what will be your verdict?
Well, if I have to rank, I would say that he's got about 50% of my mark.
So he's not there yet?
No, because he has the knowledge. You can see that he can really do the job. But his character is a bit suspicious.
Really?
Once in a while, you see his face. I mean, I look at the body language. He gets so agitated, and then he'd say something, and then he would smile. We want somebody with a very stable character, because this position is for those who have integrity, those who have...
You didn't see that accommodating factor in him?
Not much. I've been on this committee not too long, but I've not seen this kind of attitude during vetting, arrogance plus knowledge,
Exactly the question I was coming to, whether you will say that he was arrogant when he said that he doesn't care whether you approve or disapprove of him. He will continue to do his job.
A mixed bag of, behavior. So that casts doubts in my mind. So let's finish the second half. Maybe I'll be able to pick a few other things. But for now, it's a mixture of character. You can't really pinpoint the kind of person you're dealing with. One time he's an intellectual doing very well. Another time he's throwing out tantrums another time.
Him about how I do so, which he took to a different level.
He took to a different level. I saw the eyes. You know, you have to watch the person's body. I saw his face and his eyes. He was serious. Even though Haruna was saying this is a joke, he took it so seriously. When he realized the thing backfired and everybody was surprised, then he said it was a joke. But you can't do that, you know. You can't do that. You have to be who you are. Just let us know the kind of person we're dealing with. For now, I don't really know the kind of person I'm dealing with. Somebody
after 3 hours of vetting.
Oh yes, so we would have to finish for me to draw my real conclusions. But for now, it's just about 50-50. So let's finish with the vetting and we'll see where it goes.
And Honorable Dzato, what would you also say? Would you give him 50% as Dr. Halu just did?
I am already looking around some 80% now. Just that I want him to add some 5 more, then we are there. This office is a very delicate office, and I don't expect somebody to be smiling at people. I am seeing him to be somebody who is a bit stern. Like he said, when you even come to talk about somebody who is before him, he will even add you up and then persecute you. So I think that, you see, Ghana is rotten. When you look at the Auditor General report 2016 and the quantum of money we are losing, we need somebody like this to set up the office. Make sure the office is up and doing, so that at least Ghanaians will know that at least we are in serious business. Corruption, he even said it. He said he's coming to give it a try. People, when they come to sit on the seat, they say, oh, when I come, I'll do it. He says that it's a gray area. He is coming to give it a try. So let's hope that he's able to do it. Knowledgeable as he is, I was thinking that you said that when I come, I can do it. But he said, I want to give it a try. Okay. So let's allow him give it a try. The act itself is a trial. So let's have the trial, and we'll pick it up from there.
All right, so that was Honorable Michael Dzato. He gave him 80%.
Yeah, but let me also add that he also commended the president for coming out with a bold initiative, a manifesto promise of saying that he will come out with the office of the special prosecutor, the first of its kind.
Right.
You see, this is somebody who is coming from the other divide, the other side of the political divide.
You've always had the Director of Public Prosecution, the Attorney General, prosecuting some of these cases.
No, what he said, he himself, he has been an Auditor General. But he is saying that this is the first time he has seen the president persecuting corruption in such a manner.
Right.
And when Honorable Aruna asked him the question, he said it, that if there's any acts before this time, people should attest to it. Right. So it shows that at least he has commended the government of the day for at least that bold initiative of curbing corruption. And that is a commendable...
You want to react to that?
Well, I don't want us to look at this thing from political, because NDC, MPP is for and then NDC is against. This is supposed to be a very neutral position. So for me, I'm keeping a very open mind and I'm looking at the issues in totality. I'm not carried away as yet to say that this is a top guy, 85%. No, as I said, I look at 3 things when people sit here: intellectual ability, then they are thinking, how fast they can put things together, and then their body language. You look at the body language, he goes on and on and on and on and on. We have to stop him. He will not stop because he feels he's so knowledgeable. Once you feel so, you think that you are the only knowledgeable person and all other people are not. That is the beginning of failure.
Okay.
You have to be very modest and see the good in other people. I think I overheard him say somewhere that when they were looking around for somebody, he was the only upright person. No, you can't be the only upright person in Ghana. So if he can do away, we really want somebody who is just the person, normal, not politically affiliated, not vindictive, and not overconfident.
All right, so we will leave it here. Mr. Martin Amidu just walked in, meaning that the second session was about starting. 3 hours, 4 hours, you don't know, but we are here to bring you up to the minute coverage as far as this vetting is concerned. But for now, I can let you have it in the studio.
Elton Brobe there, coming to you live from Parliament. Mr. Amidu has just taken his seat, and of course the members of the committee are also taking their seat. Elton has just been speaking with Mr. Dzato and Dr. Hello, Member of Parliament for Hohoi there. And very interesting comment she has to make about Mr. Martin Amidu's person. First of all, she says that Mr. Martin Amidu has suspicious character. He says that his character is suspicious, and she wants some more analysis of who he really is and whether or not he can fit in this position. Now, she uses a phrase like throwing tantrums, that Mr. Martin Amidu has been throwing tantrums, and he thinks that he's more knowledgeable than everybody else. She's looking out for intellectual ability. She thinks that Mr. Amidu has it, but his body language, she's not very convinced about Mr. Amidu's body language.